All right. Hi, everyone. I'm testing out the live stream. Never gone live on Instagram. Never gone live on YouTube before. YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. Oh, my goodness. There's too many things. Never gone live on my phone. Never gone live on YouTube. So Jane and I are starting to branch out on all the different platforms. You'll find us over on Facebook, Rumble. I think we've got an Instagram. We don't go on there anyway. But yes, we're testing out the live stream. I'm going to just test out the questions here. If you want to put something in the chat, let me see. Bella is testing the chat. Let's see. Oh, yes, the echo chamber comes up. If you've got a chat, you can write a comment. I think you can also start a Q&A. Look at that, start a poll. All right, there's lots of cool things you can do. So this is just a little quick video whilst I'm testing out the live stream capability on YouTube. If you find us, share our videos. If you like Jane and I, you can share. The more people that we can reach, the quicker we can create a little ripple effect in our corner of the world. So I just titled this little video, The End of the Guru, because 2025 is really a year about letting go of anyone else's external ideas or opinions and really leaning into your own intuitive knowing, your own deepest all-knowing self. And for the last maybe 4 months, my physical body has been undergoing a giant transformation as my solar plexus has been being upgraded. And with that transformation has come even deeper discernment than ever before. Even things that I thought may have been fact in the past, I'm starting to think, not so sure about that. My internal radar is really connecting in with what's truth to me, because we're living in this reality where, let's face it, it's really hard to determine what's fact from fiction. And with the evolution of AI and all of the different blue beam, all of the different things that are happening, even if you see things with your physical eye, really got to question whether it's actually really happening. And certainly if you see something on the internet, even if it's a movie star doing a certain thing, you don't know what's AI. I've certainly been dabbling with AI for the last 12 months in my own business, my online business. And, the AI now, you can make an AI twin of yourself who can, sound and look and talk almost exactly like you. I mean, at the moment, you can still tell that it's AI, but it's only going to be a very short period of time where it's going to be really difficult to distinguish whether it's AI or whether it's an actual physical person. So now more than ever, I think it's really, really, really important to start really leaning into our own internal knowing so that we can discern for ourselves whether something is true and correct for us. So it feels a little strange talking here where I got no one listening. When we're over on our Facebook channel, we've got lots of comments. Jane and I can feed into the comments. Oh, I've got to just turn that off. Sorry, my phone is going to drive me bonkers. Yeah, so wanting to jump on YouTube here because, Facebook really, Jane and I, during the, 2020 lockdowns, during that whole period, we tried building on YouTube, but the stuff that we were talking about back then, the videos kept getting deleted. And I don't know how or why our Facebook channel survived, but it did. And for the beautiful community we've got over there on Facebook, we just absolutely love our community. But we're trying to branch out and get into some other channels so that we can potentially reach new people and really make our tribe and our community that much bigger so that we create a bigger ripple effect around the world. And Jane, who I run the Echo Chamber with, we don't claim to have any kind of intel. We don't claim to know what's happening on the planet. We just really create a space where we can have a conversation. We can really have conversations about things that are happening on the planet and really ask questions that potentially aren't being asked by the mainstream narrative or by, people who are still deeply conditioned and asleep. And there's no judgment there for people who are still conditioned and asleep, because let's face it, we have all been conditioned and brainwashed since birth, every single one of us on the planet. And for some reason, some of us are a little more immune to it than others. And some of us have started stripping back that conditioning and asking questions. And we don't claim to have all the answers, because we absolutely don't. And in fact, I'm sure that I've been caught up and swept up in some kind of psyops and additional brainwashing. You sort of take the the blinkers off and you start asking questions, and then all of this information comes out in the truther movement. And there's psyop on top of psyop on top of psyop. And a psyop, I think a current psyop, which probably isn't going to win me any friends when I say this, but the New Age to Jesus movement is really blowing my mind at the moment. And if you don't know, or you haven't witnessed that, even, within the truther community, everyone's talking about, oh my God, I give my life to Jesus Christ. And I used to follow all of these influencers on Instagram in particular. And there's all these women that have very thriving, successful businesses built on the New Age paradigm, let's say. And they're now shutting down their businesses and, giving their life over to Jesus Christ. And I find this shift and this movement from New Age to Jesus very, very fascinating. And, I went down a lot of rabbit holes with this particular one in particular, just because of the people I knew that were starting to jump on this bandwagon, like some pretty big names. And, there's some big Australian names that have jumped on this New Age to Jesus movement. They're letting go of their, psychic medium business for 25 years, et cetera, et cetera. So I started watching all of these documentaries around Jesus and, all of that, trying to understand what was creating this shift. And I have my own beliefs and opinions about that. And I'm certainly, not here to tell people what to believe. But my internal guidance and my own internal knowing says that it is a psyop. The move to worship Jesus from the New Age is a psyop to disempower you, to authority, to a being outside of yourself. And I think the end of the guru is going to be taking your power back for yourself, and not giving your power to any religious group or, medical industry or any doctor or the education system, and certainly not the government. So it's really being able to discern and decipher for yourself. And, bringing it back to Jesus, you might absolutely go, oh my God, my own internal all-knowing self is guiding me to Jesus. And if that's happening, then so be it. You have to, regardless of what I or anyone else says, you have to trust that internal knowing within yourself. But there's so many things coming out where we literally have to question everything. And it can be so confusing and so discombobulating, not knowing what to believe, where to turn. Oh my God, there's so much information. So for me personally, I have to tune out the noise. I've taken the social media apps off my phone. And instead of consuming content, I'm wanting to create content. And for me to create and to be into creator mode, I need to stop consuming, because consuming content, like, it is a mind suck. It is a fuckery. Like, if you find yourself just scrolling and it sucks you in, you can scroll for 2 hours on, absolutely nothing. So it is what makes us distracted. It's what takes us away from our own internal knowing. And just imagine that kind of power, if you're not giving it to mindless scrolling, that kind of power that you can use to create the reality of your dreams. What kind of life do you want to live? What kind of job do you want to have? What kind of car do you want to drive? What kind of relationship do you want to have? Rather than feeding this information to, you're consuming information from others. Imagine if you were creating with that energy instead. You're in a place of creator mode rather than consumer mode. And so many people say, oh my God, we're in this consumer society, buy, buy, buy. But it's not just about buy, buy, buy. It's about people just like consuming porn, consuming Netflix, consuming social media. Like, being awake isn't just about being awake to the agenda. It's also being awake to, are you being programmed by constantly consuming all of this stuff that's coming into your frequency? And I know it's a little bit ironic because I'm making a video which, is essentially consuming. So the irony is not lost on me. It's definitely not. But I'm talking about mindless consumption of crap. You go on social media, you're just scrolling, or you're looking at silly little cat videos. And yeah, everyone loves a good meme, and there's nothing wrong with a little bit of scrolling. But if you find yourself scrolling 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 times a day, then you may think you're awake. But if you are mindlessly scrolling many times during the day, you are not awake. You are walking through life being programmed. We all are. We've all been guilty of it. But do you choose to bring yourself out of that programming and to spend and circulate and invest your energy in creating the planet that you want to live in and creating the reality? Because you are an infinite creator. You have the ability to create the life of your dreams. You literally can change the end of your movie. You literally have that power. We all do. There are an infinite number of timelines and possibilities available. So how are you going to circulate your energy and your time? And Jane and I talk about this often because, Jane watches a lot of stuff on YouTube and she listens to a lot of experts around the world, but she loves it. And then she uses that information to make the world a better place. So in her case, she feels that she's serving humanity in what she's listening and she's watching to. But in my case, when I'm on social media and I'm mindlessly scrolling, that actually takes away from me, and it takes away from how I can show up and serve in humanity. Because when I'm scrolling on social media, it depletes my energy, it depletes my frequency. And it's up to you to just decipher what social media does. Social media is a wonderful, brilliant tool. We wouldn't be having this conversation, or you wouldn't be hearing this video if it wasn't for social media. So, are we going to use social media as a tool to expand our lives, or are we using it as a distraction to not live our life? It's up to us to decide to co-create the reality that we want. It's probably enough for me today. Just testing out the live stream on our Echo Chamber YouTube channel. So hit the subscribe button if you want to follow along. Jane and I, we're going to be putting up some pretty cool interviews. We're going to be amping up the interviews and connecting with some really cool people on the planet. If you haven't seen his video yet, watch the video where we talk to the creator of Cancel House. He's created these amazing comics. So go and check that video out. And that's the kind of guests we want to start bringing on the channel. So have a wonderful day, everyone.